Hello everyone. My name is Ming and here's my teammate, right? Okay, Ming, we are the current main group. Today we are going to interview you guys about a very interesting book, which is our reading challenge. I and Ming here can't wait to introduce you about the book. So without further ado, let's get started. Here's some important information that you should notice. The name of the book is Born a Crime. The author is Trevor. The genre is vignette style memoir, and the published year is the 2015. So in the next part, May will give you some about the author, more details about author information.
Yeah, there is biography book, so I believe that I should provide you an overview of author's background so that you can approach the book more easier. Trevor is South African comedian, television and radio host and actor. He currently hosts the Daily Show, a late-night television talk show on Comedy Central. He is son of black soldier mother and white street expatriate father. His existence is actually illegal because the regime outlawed relationships between people of different race. Therefore, that is why he named the book Monogram. As the title suggests, it describes his story from mischievous young boy growing into a restless young man as struggled to find himself in a world where he was never supposed to exist. So, let's turn to other parts, the reason for our choice. So Ming, you are the one who recommended me this book. So can you tell us why you chose the book?
Oh, that was a long story. I read this book about 2 years ago. At that time, I loved watching the Daily Show, and the host of that show is Noah. So he impressed me by his distinct humor. So therefore, when I heard that he was going to publish a biography book, I was, can't contain my feeling but to buy it right away. In the first place, I just picked it for sole purpose. I expected to be an entertaining book, but because it was considered a comedian. However, after reading it from cover to cover, I was dumbfounded. What I have received and the word was really beyond my expectation. It has been my bedside book now and then. When it's come to non-fiction book, it's always my books of choice. So when I knew that we are going to have a non-fiction book reviewed this semester, this book just sprung up in my mind immediately. And so without hesitation, I recommend to my mate Mayang. So because I firmly believe that it will never fail her. So how about you think, Mayang?
Yeah. Thank you so much for your recommendation. I read the review on the internet right after she mentioned it to me. The biography revolves around a young man growing in chaotic society, apartheid regime. The apartheid era in South Africa has been a fertile source of creativity for many authors and artists. There is wide range of ways in which people have represented apartheid in popular culture, but through a telltale of a boy, this book is the first and the only. So I give it a shot, and it lived up to my expectation. It is every compliments and appreciation from critics and readers.
So here are some of the content of the book that we have tried our very best to summarize it as concise as possible. As we have introduced before, Noah comes from a very unusual background. His birth was the proof of his parents' indiscretion. He was once hidden out of the government eyes for years by his mother. So in the book, he recounts his childhood in South Africa under the apartheid regimes, and his mother played a tremendous role throughout his growing stage. That every step he took, there was his mother support devoted. Therefore, this is not merely a memoir describing his life, but is a love letter to the author's remarkable mother. So as you can see, the book was divided into three parts. The first part is from chapter 1 to chapter 8, focus on his early day, the role of religion in his life. But it somewhat describes the chaotic social setting that all the people have to cling to faith and religions to live by.
Yeah, in the second part of monogram, from chapter 9 to 14, Noel tells a number of shorter personal stories from his adolescence. He emphasized the danger and interrupt tension, but at the very early stage, he learns how to defend himself and fight for his own survival. After that, he found his true group, his reunion day with his father, when he traced back to his roots by finding his father, who had abandoned him. The third and the final part of Monogram, from chapter 15 to 18, follows Trevor's budding career. From his mini empire, selling prior cities, which cooperated with his friends to become a worldwide well-known comedian, he experienced more adversities of the other world that her unwavering determination.
So in the next part, we're going to some about personal feeling about the book. Well, I got really mixed feeling about the book. It's not a perfect book that I have read, but it give me a stronger feeling. I really like the way he depicts the social unrest through the prism of adolescent life in South Africa. And the black people, they have no choice but become the criminal. They get trapped by the endless circle of poverty. They being brainwashed for centuries. But they, kept fighting to defend their country. So their circumstances are not dissimilar to ours 5 decades ago. Our Vietnam have become the victims of war in America. But we fought to gain our independence as today. So when I read this line, my heart really go out to them. So how about your personal feeling? What do you interest most?
Yeah, there are many characters in his life that contribute to his growing, but I admire the way his mother raised him. He also admits that I own the aggressive debt, a debt I can never repay to my mother. His mother is the main character in the story. She has deep-seated religious beliefs that never let anything bother her and stop her from raising her son. She is the biggest motivation for her son to know that he truly can accomplish everything he aspires for it. Take this advantage. Despite all the obstacles in his way, I mean that she only gave him an unconditional love, but also an unconventional love. Sometimes her method was kind of extreme. They give each other hard time, but raised above all the trivial conflicts is unconditional love. Her faith, her perseverance, and a genuine mom's incredible power for not letting him being hurt, being subservient under no circumstance. This taught him to be a man, a real man.
So now we move to a very interesting part, which is your favorite quote. There's lots of interesting that we have underlined in our book, but here's out my best. I became a chameleon. My color didn't change, but my perceptions, but I can change your perception of my color. Maybe I didn't look like you, but if I spoke like you, I was you. So because of his skin, he was a long time victim of bullying. But thanks to this hardship, he learned how to stick for himself, then turn this disadvantage into his own unique advantage. So he likened himself to a chameleon, an animal whose color-changing skin can be turned into a protective armor for existential purpose. So I was kind of admire him greatly. So
I really love the quote that when you make the effort to speak someone else's language, even if it's just basic phrase here and there, you are saying to them, I understand that you have a culture and identity that exists beyond me. I see you as a human being. Because throughout the story, he gave lots of proofs about the power of multi-language, that it bridges the gaps of different races. Therefore, it's the easy way for him to interact with others, especially when he lives in such a mixed race groups. So this gave me more and more encouragement in the pursuit of my studies. And you guys, when you're reading this book, really feel the same way as I felt. So, in conclusion, I was a firm belief that this book is truly a worldwide reading experience, and maybe I will never stop recommending this book to you because it really deserves a place in your bookshelf. Yeah, that is the end of our presentation. Many thanks for your attention.